Hey guys, it's Megan again with Tip Tuesday. Our Tip Tuesday this week is going to be all about bobbins. The reason why we're going to focus on bobbins this week is because, believe it or not, it does actually matter what bobbins you use with your sewing machine. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of different types of bobbins and why it matters. Over here, you can see I have a whole array of different bobbins and even bobbin cases. So with that, you can kind of tell that all these bobbins kind of have a different shape, different size, different holes, and overall just kind of look different. So with that, not all bobbins are made the same. There are some bobbins here that are going to be like these guys that are made out of metal, and then these guys here that are made out of plastic. One thing that tends to be a rule of thumb with bobbins is that if you've got a metal bobbin, you typically want to use a metal bobbin case. That's not always the case though. This is actually a bad example. This one here is actually the one that'll take a metal bobbin. So with that, when you use the right bobbin in it, you want it to sit right in the bobbin case nice and snug. So you can see it doesn't overlap or anything, it doesn't look weird, and when the thread is on there, it'll pull nice and evenly through the tension disc. But even so, these two look like the same bobbin, but they're not. If you look at these guys, this one is a Bernina bobbin that has grooves in the center, and this one is more of a old style Singer bobbin that does not. So the big difference, Bernina of course always likes to do the most high quality thing they can, and they put the grooves in the center so that when you start your bobbin winding, it catches onto the bobbin. The other thing is the weight of the bobbin is going to be different and give you the best tension for that bobbin case. So that's why Bernina on some of their smaller machines prefer that one. Now Bernina did have a bobbin case that was more narrow a long time ago, and those tend to be these ones. I think most of the time we see them on the Artista series. So they end up having a lot of weird grooves in there. What is nice about that is that it is exactly the right weight for that bobbin case and will go a lot smoother for you as well. The other metal bobbin I have here is going to be this guy here, and that is a Singer Class 66 bobbin. Now these ones, they do come with metal or plastic versions. Most of the time if you have a metal bobbin case in an older Singer, it's going to take a metal one, but some of the newer ones will take a plastic Singer 66. So with that, you can kind of see it's got a little bit of a rounded point on there, and therefore it sits in the bobbin case properly. Now, what we see a lot of is sometimes people will use a Class 15 bobbin instead of that 66, which on first glance you think that looks just fine. But if you actually look at it on the camera, you can see that the 66 sits a little bit narrower than the Class 15. So with that, that means it's not going to sit properly in the bobbin case and rattle around and cause a lot of issues for you down the line, and nobody likes that. Now, let's talk about that Singer bobbin compared to something like a Brother bobbin or a Pfaff bobbin or a Janome bobbin. These guys here are both Class 15 bobbins. We typically see people bring these in because they bought them at a big box store or found them for super cheap. They've got the extra little groove on there, and that's all fine and good, but most of the time people are bringing in their machine going, I can't get the tension to work, something is going on. That's because that bobbin is not made for the machine that you brought in. So when you have one of those, especially like a Brother or a Pfaff Ambition series or a Janome, they aren't made to use the bobbins with the grooves on them. They're not going to be the right weight. So you want to actually use one of their authentic Class 15 bobbins. So that one would fit into this bobbin case, which is a Brother bobbin case, not a bubba. Woo. Okay, anyways, a Brother bobbin case. So it fits right there, nice and snug as you can see, and then the thread will go in right where it's supposed to. Another trick with the Brother bobbin cases, they've got this little bit of fuzz there. Don't take that off. It's important. Keep it there. But, so you can see it fits nice and snug there. Now, some of the Pfaffs, however, they can take the same kind of Class 15 bobbins, just like the Brother and Janome, or they'll take that really weird funky blue one that's really skinny comparatively, or they'll also take these ones, which are a little bit wider than the blue, but narrower than the Class 15. These ones are going to be a Class L technically. So these little itty bitty narrow ones are actually made for the older Pfaffs. So a lot of times we see like a Pfaff 1475, that generation. They actually did have a metal bobbin case that took a plastic bobbin. when you put that bobbin in there, that one sits nice and snug, gives it the perfect weight, and is beautiful. So for those older machines, that's going to be the one that you want. Now, for the newer FOFs, for instance, the FOF Expression 720, 710, they're going to have a bobbin case that looks like this, which looks very much like the Brothers. That bobbin case will fit that bobbin perfectly. You can see it not rattling around, not too tall, any of that. However, if you try to put the wrong bobbin in there, you can see it's really big. It doesn't rattle around, but it's not sitting where it's supposed to. So if you have a bobbin that's too big for your bobbin case, it's not going to work and it's not going to tension properly. The last ones I like to point out are going to be two of the most obviously different bobbins, which would be the new style Berninas. The new style Bernina Bobbins are going to be these guys right here. This one, the more narrow one, is going to be for the 8 series, whereas this bigger one is made for most of the new lineups. The 4 series, the 5 series, the 7 series, all of them. They take those jumbo bobbins. So obviously, compared to our original Bernina bobbin, they're a little bit different because they carry a lot more thread. So it's a reason why a lot of people upgrade to some of the newer Berninas. With them, this bigger jumbo bobbin has all the grooves inside, as does the 8 series. Now I don't have a bobbin case to show you on the 8 series because it's actually part of the machine. However, on the 7 series, or the 4 series, or the 5 series, we've got this bobbin case. And this bobbin case, if I try to put the bobbin in the wrong way, it will not let me. So that is something I love about the Berninas, because if I even try to put this 8 series in, there's no way I can put the wrong bobbin in the bobbin case. But on these guys, if I put the right one in, it fits snug as a bug in a rug, and it's ready to go. So overall, it is super duper important that you make sure you're using the right bobbin for your machine. Of course, if you bring in your machine to Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, we will always show you the right bobbins to make sure that you have perfect tension every single time. And I always, always, always recommend getting extra bobbins. That way you are never running dry or you wound a whole bunch of bobbins and you just need a little bit of that one color. You have an extra bobbin that you can do that on. So come check it out in the store. Come see those giant Bernina jumbo bobbins in person if you like. They're really fun. And as always, if you have other tips you'd like us to go over, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me. Happy Tuesday.